Hello everyone, welcome to NS Codes. Today we're going to learn about something inconceivable. No. Incomprehensible. No. Comprehensible. No. Comprehensions. Sorry. We're going to go over some basic introductory Python. If you're already familiar with Python, just click like and subscribe and comment that you love the video, but you don't have to watch it. This is a very basic video for people who are just learning Python. Again, if you know Python, go ahead and skip ahead. We're going to cover basic iterators, comprehensions, and then unpacking. And we're going to look at some cool things that we can do with comprehensions. Now, I'm not a big fan of the comprehensions, but I'm going to show them anyway because a lot of people love them. Let's get to it. First, you can see from the code, I have a simple Hello World Python application. Let's run this. It prints Hello World, so I guess we're halfway there, right? Okay. Not shown, I've copied and pasted a basic iterator. This iterator takes a low number and a high number, similar to the range function, and iterates over that. Let's see how that will work. And let's go through the numbers 1 through 5, and let's print those numbers and see what our basic iterator does. Again, this video is not really about the iterators, it's about unpacking and comprehensions, so study iterators separately. And you see here that when I did a 4 on the basic iterator, I got the numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we went through that. Now, let's ask the question, what is the unpack operator? And we need to know about unpacking for what we're going to do with comprehensions later. Unpacking takes an iterator and it unpacks it and it puts it as parameters. I guess that's the way you'd say it. But rather than using fancy words, which I do not possess, I'm going to actually demonstrate how this will work. So let's create a method that takes 4 arguments here in Python. I can't even type today. And we will print these out so we can see what's going on. 1 plus 1. And you notice I do semicolons just because I do so much in other languages. It's fortunate that Python will ignore the semicolons because I can't seem to stop typing them. Some copy and paste foo. Okay, now we have this method written. Let's see how we can unpack and call this method directly. I'm going to write some method. The asterisk, this is the unpack operator. And then we're going to do our basic iterator, 1 through 5. And I wonder what's going to happen. Any guesses? Well, there we go. It unpacked that iterator and provided the values in the iterator to the method we're trying to call. Let's see what happens if we provide too many arguments to our method. It crashes. So there's still some importance to the number of arguments. And if you want to do a generic number of arguments, there's a method in Python to do that. We're not going to cover arbitrary list of Python arguments in this video. Just know that it is something that you can do. Let's replace this code, make sure it runs correctly again. Okay, runs correctly. Now, what if we want to take our iterator and we want to put the iterator into a list? Because everything in Python seems to be about lists. This is where we get to comprehensions. So here, I'm going to write a basic comprehension. Some list equals, there's our comprehension operator. We're going to unpack this iterator. And now we have a list. Let's print out this list and see what it looks like. Let's run and see what happens. And now you can see that we have a list from that unpacking, 1, 2, 3, 4 in an actual list from Python. That's pretty cool, but what can we do next with the comprehension? Can we do some basic math can we do some basic math in our comprehension? Let's find out. What I'm going to do, I'm going to create another list. I'm going to call it another list. How about that? And I don't want the numbers 1 through 5. I want the square of the numbers 1 through 5. So I'll start our list comprehension. I will write x times x for x. So we're basically doing an iteration. We're doing a for loop here. So for every x in basic iterator. Any guesses what's going to happen? Let's find out. There we go. We squared the numbers in a comprehension. Okay, can we get even more complicated? Yes, we can. We can actually put basic logic in here in these comprehensions. So what I'm going to do is I want to know if the elements in my list are even or odd. How can we do that? Well, even or odd. Start with our list comprehension once again, and I'm going to start with the words even, and then if x mod 2, so the percent operator is the modulus operator if you're not familiar, equals 2. And again, modulus is the remainder after a division, okay? So if you have 2 divided by 2, you have 0 remaining. If you have 3 divided by 2, you have 1 remaining. So that's how you check even or odd really simply in computer science. Well, actually, you know what? That's not true. There's an easier way to check even or odd in computer science, and that is the least significant bit in your binary operator tells you if it's an even or odd number, because it's always a 1 if it's an odd number, and it's always 0 if it's even. So this is probably slow. We could do it differently in other languages, but that's not the point. That's not the point. We're writing a list comprehension here. We're unpacking this. Okay, so we're going to do this if it's even, else let's say odd, and then for x, so this gives us our variable, iterator, 1, 5, and let's print even or odd and see what happens. I've got a squiggly, so I'm doing something wrong. Let me check real quick. I think it's the spacing, to be honest with you. I think I have to have regular spaces. And I missed this in. There we go. So this is the correct syntax. I had some extra spaces and I forgot the double equals. And since I forgot them, let me rewrite this and cover what those mean. And I will comment this out so we can watch while this happens. Even or odd equals our list comprehension. Even's what we're going to output. If x mod 2, no caps, sorry. If x mod 2 equals 0. Now this is very important because we're doing a comparison here. If we're trying to assign, it'd be 1 equal sign, but since we're doing a comparison, it's 2. Equals 0, else odd. And then for x and basic iterator. What do you think? Think this is going to work? There we go. That's basic list comprehensions and the unpack operator in Python. I'm not a big fan of these massive comprehensions. I prefer actually writing the code out. It's a little bit more testable, and it's easier for novices and juniors to approach. When we write really complex code that's really dense, it takes a long time to unpack the code and see what's going on. Your mileage may vary. These are some really cool and powerful tools in Python. I hope you enjoy. Questions, comments, put them below.